Alright, so with 2.5 second half will be coming the new 5-star limited character that is fire and part of the path of abundance, Lingsha. There's been a lot of rumors and such going around if she might be the new sustain for the break team. Break team, if you don't know, obviously being teams with Boothill, Joy, and Firefly. Right now, the break team is pretty set in stone for what the units they have. They have Ron May, who's practically a staple. If you're running Firefly, you always practically have Harmony Chillboys as a staple for a big damage increase. And the sustain spot is actually already filled by Gallagher. And now there are some rumors going around that Lingsha might be the new break sustain. Problem is, she is fire and abundance. Gallagher is also fire and abundance. They share the exact same path and the exact same type. So in this video, I sort of want to be talking about Lingsha, what she might be able to do and such, and why Gallagher is really good, and why Gallagher is also pretty hard to replace right now. Since if you have Gallagher, even if you don't, you can probably tell why he's really good on the break team. The utility he provides, everything he does is extremely good and very helpful on the team. Practically for any level, if you're using Boothill even, he's best on the Firefly team, and on the Firefly team he makes a big difference. Even an E0 Firefly or an E2 Firefly, no matter what level of break team you're using, Gallagher makes a very big difference. And I sort of wanted to be talking about Gallagher, why he's going to be really hard to replace, and then what Lingsha would probably have to kind of do, or at least have her kit lean towards in order to do it, because Lingsha is kind of competing at a pretty high bar with Gallagher. And yeah, that's all I gotta say before I get to the video. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for purposes like this, let's get straight into it. So again, let's first talk about Gallagher. Gallagher has a lot of things in his kit that makes him extremely valuable for the sustain part of the break team. He himself is also able to increase his healing amount by giving him more break effect, so the more break effect you have, the more outgoing heal you can have. So the game is practically awarding you for building him with break effect as well. And Gallagher himself also has this unique debuff called Besotted, and that Besotted state makes enemies actually take more damage. And anyone that is inflicted with Besotted, so the enemies, whenever your allies do attack those Besotted enemies, they actually heal. So Gallagher is also this very offensive healer, because not only are you inflicted them with Besotted, while the enemies are inflicted with Besotted and they're being attacked by your allies, so with your Firefly or Boothill, if you take some damage, you're able to heal it back while dishing out the damage. So you don't really have to pop a skill for Gallagher. And not only that, you do inflict Besotted by his ultimate, and with the help of his trace, when you do pop his ult, you get 100% action forward, and then you let Gallagher attack with an enhanced basic attack as well. So that's some extra damage output you can get via him. And another very important thing is he himself can actually help you reduce the toughness of enemies. So if you are fighting an enemy with a fire weakness, Gallagher is going to be extremely helpful in that front, because he is also going to be able to lower their weakness. So they'll have less of a weakness you gotta worry about, so your Boothill or your main DPS Firefly is going to be able to break them, and then you're gonna be able to start stream rolling your damage. So not only is he really effective at healing, not only is he inflicted them with Besotted for making them take more break damage, but he's also helping you tremendously lowering their toughness. Obviously, this becomes an issue if they don't have fire weakness, so if you're running him on a Boothill team and they don't have fire weakness, then you don't have that luxury. But where he's best with, which is Firefly, Firefly is able to inflict a mini fire weakness herself, so he directly is benefiting from that too, so a big help there. And on top of all this that is not overlooked, but I do want to definitely talk about it, is that Gallagher himself is a 4-star. Because he is a 4-star, he is a lot easier to obtain. He's going to be on multiple banners on raid up. A lot of people already have multiple dupes in him. And he's also been free in events, and he might be free in other events going forward. Gallagher himself has also really good dupes, like the E1 giving him more energy and increasing effect res at the start of battle. His E2 gives him a cleanse, which is really important, and also increases more effect res for the ally you decide to use. E4 giving you another turn to the Besotted state by the ultimate, and then the E6 giving him more break effect, which again can mean more healing, and also giving him more break efficiency. So you have all these really good dupes at the 4-star level that you're going to be able to get from summoning on banners. He can spook you randomly on raid up banners where you're going to go for his dupes, and then also being from free events. And then the last thing is Gallagher has a way that you can build him to be extremely good at genning SP. A speedy build with something like the 3-star multiplication light cone, just so you can generate a bunch of skill points for your break team. So if you don't have something like an E1 Firefly or you're running him on a Boothill team, skill points can become an issue. But with the speedy Gallagher with the multiplication LC, that is no longer an issue, because he gets a bunch of turns. When he does ult, he gets another chance to use a basic attack. So you get a lot of these things in order to generate SP, making it to where your team does not run out. And now, finally talking about more on the Lingsha side. So again, as we do know it, the rumors are that she's going to be a break-related sustain. And so she has a lot of things that she needs to compete with. Will she be good at keeping SP up? because obviously not everyone is going to have a E1 Firefly. So if she's SP negative, that might be a bit of a problem. I want to mention if she'll have a cleanse, I'm going to definitely assume she's going to have a cleanse because of that. She is a later game healer that is being added, so I'm definitely going to assume she's going to have a cleanse at least. Will she have a debuff similar to Besotted where they make enemies take more break damage, because that's also really good. And so there's a lot of these things that kind of worry about, because Gallagher does a lot and he brings a lot of value. And can Lingsha actually put up the bar for that? Because if she can't, she won't be worth summoning for it, because you have a 4-star that you can get for free, you can get just by summoning randomly, and so it wouldn't really be worth to summon on a new limited character that doesn't bring you that much value. So I definitely think Lingsha would have to be a character that sort of does also scale off break effect healing, because if you do that, she could also help with toughness reduction stuff as well. And so building a healer with break effect, also increasing their healing, is also going to be beneficial, just like Gallagher does. I definitely do think she'll need one of her own debuffs that make enemies take increased break damage. I definitely think it has to be a higher amount, because making them take increased break damage is a really good scaling. But since she is a limited 5-star as opposed to 4-star, Gallagher does a whole 12%, I definitely think she needs to have a higher percentage. If it's something like 15 or something, it's not going to be that worth it. And also having an abundance character that might do some providing buffs like Wopo does. As you do know, Wopo provides energy and attack percent, and a lot of it at that. If Lingsha is able to do something, that can definitely, I think, would put her above Gallagher. Obviously not attack percent, but I guess attack percent could actually work, because Firefly does kind of scale off that, and you're mainly using her for Firefly. But overall, maybe an alt that might obviously heal a lot, and then on top of that, provide some break effect to your team, or maybe even weakness break efficiency, and then something like speed. I want to say energy too, but that'd be a little too similar to Popo, so I think something like break effect or break efficiency, provided via the alt and plus a lot of healing. So if she's able to provide that, that would put her really high and potentially above Gallagher for that. And I definitely think she should have a way to be built where she's able to generate SP, because again, not everyone has an E1 Firefly, so skill points can become an issue. On the Blue Hill team, skill points can definitely become an issue as well. So that's a big thing you can't really overlook. And then the last thing to consider is I definitely think she will need a style where it's offensive healing. Because again, Gallagher with the Besotted state, attacking enemies that are Besotted will heal your allies. And that is the perfect playstyle for the break team, because the break team attacks a lot. Firefly goes a lot of turns with a bunch of speed. Blue Hill is also built with a bunch of speed. You usually pair them with an action advancing support anyways. So being able to heal off doing damage is the ideal playstyle for a break team. And so I definitely think Lingsha is going to need a form of that in order to compete with Gallagher. Otherwise, she might not be the greatest upgrade. Maybe she could have something like Luocha, where if they get below certain HP, something might happen, she might proc a heal, and the healing amount is pretty high, so you don't have to worry about dying. That's another way that can sort of make up for no offensive healing. So if you can't really heal by attacking, you can have something like Luocha, because if you guys don't know, when you go below 50% HP, Luocha is able to automatically use the skill without using a skill point. So if Lingsha is able to do that, and especially if she's something like AoE healing, that can end up being really good for overall healing output. And another thing is if she has something like an AoE cleanse as well, because the game is getting to the point where there are multiple CCs on the field. So if multiple units on your team get CC'd, you have to usually pick and choose. So if she's able to AoE CC cleanse, that'd be really, really good. And that can also provide some value for that. And not only that, if she does do something like an AoE cleanse, that could provide values for other teams. Not saying she just could be locked behind the break team like that. AoE cleanse would be really good, but to go on other teams, she's obviously going to need to provide a lot more. Because just look at Luocha, he only provides healing now, and so his spot is the healer is not that great, because there's Huohuo who heals a lot, and also provides a bunch of attack percent with energy. Then there's Gallagher for the break teams, so just healing is definitely not going to be enough. And so yeah, that is the video. That's sort of what I think that Lingsha is kind of going to be needing, because she is again competing at a high bar. Gallagher, he's able to do all this stuff, good healing, offensive healing, making them take increased break damage, being able to generate a bunch of skill points for your team, and also on top of that being a 4-star and easy to get dupes. While Lingsha is a limited 5-star, so getting dupes for her is going to be very expensive. So she's going to have a lot in her base kit in order to compete with that. And so those are sort of things I think she might need. Again, something similar to Besotted to make them take increased break damage at a good amount of that. Being able to hopefully keep SP at a good level. Being able to have good healing output and a good way to heal. Obviously, CCs are an issue, so definitely some form of cleanse. An easier cleanse would be good, or an AoE cleanse. So she just has a lot of things, and it brings you to wonder if she will be replacing Gallagher. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Peace out.